Órale, Holmes, it's me, Little Hater, the best podcast in Long Beach. And this podcast is brought to you in part by Avoxcon Audio. That's right, those are the microphones I use for this podcast. Just click on the link in my description or go to Amazon or Walmart.com. What it is. Podcast. Yo, what it is with the best podcast in Long Beach, California. Often imitated, never duplicated, but you know what it is. Before we get started with today's episode, a big shout out to our sponsor, Avoxcon Audio. That's right. So if you want to be a podcaster like your boy, Tacos and Workouts, go to Amazon or Walmart.com and get yourself some of these microphones. With us today, we have Young Beaves Comedy. That's right, man. Right. Yeah, put that microphone up there.
Hey, you know what it is.
Started, man.
Also get these in the callejones downtown. You might find it in a van. The vato with the jacket. Remember the vato with the jacket? What you need, my boy?
They had you. That vato had everything, right?
They had a fucking. I tripped out, dog. We need more of those guys, man.
Yeah, it's like a lot of those vatos retired already. You know.
You know what it is? That vato became a hipster. Now he has like hummus and fucking pita bread. You know, he's not hustling the same no more, dog.
It's a different kind of hustle, man.
It's a different hustle, but the hustle's real. We were just talking about
yeah,
it,
the hustle is definitely real,
making
man.
That dollar, homie.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody's trying to make that dollar any way possibly they can, man.
Anyway, fucking selling cheeks de todo, right? Fucking shit, dude.
Selling
beautiful city too, Long Beach. Look at this.
Yeah, man, this is my backyard, man. And
love it, dude. Love it. Hell yeah! And then finally, thank you for having me on your podcast, man. Big dog. It's been a minute. I've been always running around and like a chicken with no head and shit, right?
Yeah, but tell the people why you're always running around, man, because they really want to know.
Okay, so the reason why I'm always busy is because, for one, I'm always doing different shows. I'm on different podcasts. Plus, I'm a full-time dad. I've been writing my book. I'm going to publish. I already have one book published, but I'm going to publish my second book. It's going to be a story about my life. I don't know if you've heard my story. Pretty much from 12 to 19, I was in jail my whole life. I was a fucking career criminal, all that good stuff. And it's pretty much talking about all the experiences that I went through, right? And the reason why I'm writing this book is because I want, the way I look at it, there's a lot of chavalitos out there, right? Still like me, fucking long socks, and being stupid, right? And they think, oh, this is all I can do. This is all I know. This is all this is the life for me. So I'm writing this book so people know, there's more out there. There's more than Long Beach. There's more than East LA. There's more than Baldwin Park. There's such a big world out there. Up until the age of 19, 20, I never came to Long Beach. I'd never been to the beach. I didn't learn to drive a car until I was 26, though.
Wow.
But I knew how to jack a car. I knew how to rob a motherfucker, but I didn't know how to do the basics. And, back then I thought it was cool and it was feed me. Now I look at it and I was like, it was sad, dude. I lived a sad life, Now I'm happy, and I have the same energy running that I did to commit those crimes, to commit to the community, to get back to the raza,
Yeah, I understand, but some people might be quick to judge, for your past, but yeah. I think that sometimes we become a product of our environment.
Exactly, we do. We do. I agree with you. If you grow up in the shitter, you're gonna be toilet paper. That's how it is. But I feel like you can break that cycle. I was in jail for over 20 years, 25 years. And I'm in the comedy scene now. When people see me, they'll see me on the street. Oh, my God, Young Beaves, can I get a picture? Back in the days, I was only taking mug shots. So now it feels good when somebody stops by and be like, hey, Young Beaves. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. It's like a different feeling. It makes you feel good, like you're doing something right, So to everybody that's sitting out there, if you have that dream, follow that shit, dog. You wanted to do this podcast, aquí estamos comiendo tacos and working out, right?
Yeah, it's man, cool. We're doing it the best way we can.
That's the only way we can.
If you want it bad enough and you try hard enough, dreams do come true.
I agree with you. And you know what? One thing I would tell people is don't wait for the right moment. People are like, oh, next year when I get that taxes, or when my hyena stops cheating on me, or my jefita doesn't throw me out of my house. Fuck that. Do it now, dude. Stop waiting till tomorrow. If you have a dream, fucking follow it today. Another thing is don't set yourself up for failure, right? Like we were saying, right?
Yeah.
People are like, I want to be, the next fucking Antonio Banderas. I want to be the next George Lopez. Start small, know your limits. Hey, you know what? I'm fat. I can't run 10 miles. You run one fucking mile. Comienzale de pasito a pasito. And you'll see how it's more realistic, it's more reachable, and it feels better.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's baby steps will get you,
Exactly.
a lot further than taking those steps at all. But let's talk about that comedy, man. Like, tell us how you got involved in the comedy.
So the way that I got started in comedy, right? I just got out of prison. I'm working at a fucking company, right? And one thing about me is like I've always had that vibe of being funny. You've been in a fucked up situation, say something funny, like "Orale, pinche George Lopez" or something, right? I always said stupid shit, and to me, it came from being in fucked up situations, and I just try to look at the bright side. So one day, one of my coworkers signs me up for an open mic, right? And they're calling me in a place called the Sunset Room. Shout out to the Sunset Room, right? They got great food. You want to get some food? Check them out. City of Hacienda Heights. So we're eating right there, right? And they're like, Victor Zapata. And I'm like, why are they calling me? Like, did I lose my debit card? I start checking my pockets. I'm like, fuck.
The cops are looking at me.
And I used to do cocaine, right? So I'm like, fuck. Did I leave some cocaine in the toilet? Like, what the fuck, right? She's like, we're waiting for you, the DJ. And I'm like, I ain't fucking asked for a song. So I go there and he goes, bro, it's you. And I'm like, fuck. Okay. So I go out there and I just start talking about my life, like how I used to fuck up at work and how I was in jail. And it did good. The comedy hit because I feel like it was relatable. Like who hasn't punched in late to work and lied? Who hasn't went to the bathroom 5 minutes before you got to punch out and hide in the bathroom for 10 minutes? Like, fuck, I'm going to get off in 10 minutes, right? It's stuff that we do, right? So that's how I got into it. And I fell in love, man. The minute I picked up the mic and I hear the people laugh, and I fell in love, man. It was like I knew I belonged there. Have you ever had that feeling when you feel like it's a calling for you?
Yeah,
I felt like that.
Yeah, for sure.
To see the people, because back in the days, white people would be scared. They're like, oh my god, honey, come over here. Now they're like, oh my god, it's the Cholo, and it's a cool feeling, man. It's a real good feeling, man. So man, I love comedy, dude. I love doing it. I love making people laugh. I love the fact that I'm able to be here and share a message with all of us. It's cool.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give for someone that's just starting off, trying to do the comedy?
I would say this. Like I was telling you, being funny is not good enough. Everybody's funny. Funny looking. Whatever. Funny walking. I say if you really want to pursue this, don't expect to be good right away. Find your niche, whether it's dick jokes, mama jokes, whatever it is. Feel comfortable, pace yourself. Because I've been doing it for 3 years. And there'll be times where I'm all up in the mix and I'm like all winded, like, oh, son of a bitch, I'm dying. But I really am dying, It's a process. You have to learn what lands and what doesn't. And the advice I give to people is you're only as funny as the people who perceive you, right? So let's say you're doing like an all black crowd.
Yeah.
Do something that they can relate to. You're doing white, do something that Mexicans and white people could relate to. Mexicans do Mexican, like be a prodigy of your environment, like you said, use that same mentality to that, the same hustle.
Yeah, I like what you said right there. That it hits different because you've been doing comedy and you've probably done so many different venues, right? And I've done comedy, a couple of places, right? Still beginning, but some of the
you got up there. That's
yeah,
good.
I got up there. But some of the jokes that I went to do the week before, everybody laughed. Killed. And then the exact same joke told the exact same way in a different crowd, and there was no reaction. They didn't get it. So
you know what it is sometimes you say orale, you word it different. Maybe you say dude or bro or look at this guy, and then one thing I say is the more you act it out, the more the people feel like it's a movie, like orale fool, hey. The more you move, the more animated you are, the people are like, oh my god, go 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 go, and one thing I learned is if you come in, like what I started doing is like, how people like work out before they do something. Me, I just like, I get myself in the vibe. Like if I'm going to go up, I'll get myself ready. Like if I'm going to go like on a mission, fool, and then just go out there and be like, ooh.
Yeah, you amp yourself up a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And what I learned is, because it's easy to like pick on people in the crowd. It's better to make fun of yourself that to make some fun of somebody, you know, because that way people don't get all butthurt, you know, because a lot of people get butthurt. They're like, oh my God, he keeps talking about me. You know what I mean? You've seen it.
No, I totally get you, man. Check this out, man. One time I went to a comedy show, and the comedian, he was a big guy, right? And I'm a big guy. He starts picking on me, telling me how fat I am, right? But
Bro, you're a whale too.
Yeah, exactly, right. My thoughts exactly. But since I'm a comedian,
You don't get butthurt.
I didn't want to heckle him out of
see, 'cause
respect,
that shit
right?
sucks. Yeah.
So I,
That's
like
good.
he came at me, and I'm like, I can't say nothing because
Because you could have had a comeback, right?
Yeah, I had one.
See?
And I was like, motherfucker.
Hey, you're like with a gun.
I'm like, motherfucker. I thought they closed down SeaWorld, or I could have done some shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I just pointed to him, and I pointed at myself, and I pointed at him, like with the same, and then he goes, he like, I didn't say a word.
He
Stone
knew.
cold face, and he goes, oh shit. He goes, never mind. He turned around and he walked away. But
True.
so like with that aspect, that's funny, right? I like it when they do it to other people.
Yeah, but when it's you, it's like, fuck.
Well, some people do not like to be roasted.
Yeah,
some people
fool.
don't understand that that's part of the
Or
comedy.
they're real sensitive too, you know. And right now it's like we're living in a sensitive time. We can't say shit. I did a show at the Scientology, like when I first started doing comedy. Right, fuck, they literally wanted to arrest me because I guess this place you can't drink, and
Oh, wow.
I drink everywhere.
Yeah.
So I pulled up. I'm dressed like this. I have a tall can in my pocket, and I'm drinking a shot. And the security's like, oh my God, is that alcohol, sir? What is that? And I was like, it's a tall can. It's a Budweiser. And he goes, you cannot be here on premises with that alcohol. And I was like, I'm part of the lineup. I'm like on the show, right? One of the homies, he's a promoter. He passed away. I was like, I'm with the homie right here. And he goes, nope. Okay, he literally threw me in the shack, right? And everybody's like, hey, come on, man. He's on the lineup. Big old deal, right? So I started fucking saying jokes in the shack, fool, in the little security shack. And I was like, hey, you know what? Fuck you, hey. Fuck you and Tom Cruise, hey. Oh, my God. They got so offended, dude. That's like their God.
Tom Cruise?
Oh, yeah, dude. They get so offended about that shit. But I'm just saying it like, why are you so mad? Like, it's just a comedy, you know? Like, but people, they get offended, you know. Another time I did a show in Hollywood at the Hollywood Improv, and everybody who's heard my comedy knows that I'm like ghetto comedy, like hood motherfucker, right? So I'm talking about fucking prostitutes and smoking crack, right? So I tell these people, oh yeah, you guys got nice hotels right here, you know. I said my kind of hotels, we ain't got all this shit, right? We got the kind of hotel where you go down the street, pick up a hooker on the way back, pick up some crack. People start laughing. So I'm like, okay, they're good. The promoter comes up to me after and she goes, I'm sorry, but you can't return here. And I'm like, why?
What?
Like, people were laughing. And she goes, there's people here asking for crack. And I was like, I don't even smoke crack. It's like a joke.
What do you mean? People were in the audience and wanted crack now because
They were asking me for crack after the show. Like, hey, you know where I could get some crack?
Well, it just goes to show that it's everywhere, right?
Exactly. But the lady was so mad because I brought it up. And it, I guess, made them want to smoke crack. And I'm like, lady, I just said crack because it rhymed with the word on the way back.
Yeah.
And it sounded funny. And she goes, well, around here, we don't say that kind of stuff.
They people like to pretend something else is going on when you actually see something going on. Man, it's Hollywood. Come on, there's a whole bunch of stuff
Crazy.
going on that but I
it's
guess they
worse.
got to put up a front, right?
It is what it is. It's crazy. The thing about me is I don't get butthurt. Like I told you earlier, the first time I did a show at the Ice House, like they didn't let me go up because I wasn't famous enough. I didn't have enough following, and my Hannah was mad. Fool. She was like, you know what? That's fucking bullshit. You waited and you can't even get on. So what I did is like, look, these kind of people, you can't like fight them by talking shit to them. They're white America. This is they have the power right here. Like this is their venue. I said, if you want to fight these people, you have to fight them where it hurts. Be funnier. Come the next time and kill. So that's what I did. I did a show at the Ice House, and nobody knew who I was. I pulled up, and they're like, who the fuck is this cholo, right? Didn't think nothing of it. I go up there, and I fucking killed. It was at the Ice House in the main room, right? So it's like packed, fool. And nobody knows who I was, but I was fucking crushing. I was talking about this, my mama, their mama, and I was fucking on the floor. And people were like, oh my God, he's so funny. And I told him, hey, you know what? Thank you. And he's like, you want your recording? And I was like, nah, bro, you should keep that. And he's like, why? And I was like, because that vato that you didn't get on the mic last week, I was here last week. And he said, we want to book you again. And I was like, I'll come. But you know what? From now on, let's judge a person by their character. Let's not and that promoter doesn't work there no more. So that's good too, you know. Now it's a whole new staff, you know. And it sucks that people get judged like that, but it goes to show that it's still going on, you know. Still some bullshit, but
Yeah, no, you know what, and it's not just happens in comedy. Sometimes it
everywhere.
happens in all different levels of the industry. You know, it's like you know, sometimes people click up, and then you're the new guy, and they automatically like he's the outsider. Let's not let's step on him and
Yeah.
not allow him to
Come
be
up.
to come up and be
Exactly.
part of the group. But my mentality is the same as yours. It's like
Bring 'em up.
you know, it's like talent's gonna eventually.
It's
It's gonna
gonna
outshine, right?
Yeah,
So
I
if you
believe- I
have the
agree.
talent and you keep on working hard enough, right? Eventually it's gonna seep through the tracks and people are gonna recognize.
Yeah.
The reason why people do that, whether it be in music or comedy or YouTube or
Intimidating.
whatever, it's that for sure. But the intimidation
fear.
is because of their insecurities because they don't
Exactly,
have
that's
it.
the word.
They don't have it.
Exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
it's like, oh shit, this guy's gonna take my you know
Yeah.
the bread out of my mouth. But the reality is
There's
like
enough bread for everybody.
Exactly.
Huh?
There's
Jesus
enough.
fed fucking 12 motherfuckers with one bread. Like we could all eat, dog. That's why I tell people like there's enough food for everybody. There's enough fan bases. There's enough vatos fucking being funny on Instagram. People be like, why are you posting that? I posted that too. Gives a fuck. There's enough fucking followers, dog. There's enough trolls that are gonna troll both of our accounts, right? Like, stop getting butthurt.
Well, though, you know, it's funny how you say that about followers and stuff like that because the way I feel about followers is like this. Look, whether I have, you know, 40,000, 80,000, or just 1,000, right? It's in my best interest for my followers to follow you,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. I
And
agree
then
with that.
and then if your followers follow me, then it only helps us
Yeah,
grow
support each
each
other.
other's platform.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it and that's the way it should be. But for some reason, it's like I don't own my followers.
Yeah.
I don't own anybody,
Yeah.
right?
You're just there
So-
to provide a good time, a good laugh, whatever your mission is. You know,
Exactly.
that's all we have. You know, people feel like I agree with that. People think, oh my god, I got 200,000 followers, but it's like, okay, I know people, I know comedians. I'll say this, I won't say names, but I've done shows with comedians that been on Comedy Central, fucking all this shit, have like 100 something thousand followers, right? And I've done shows with them, and maybe one or two people will go for them.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm less followers and I got more people. And you know what? The way I look at it is like I used to sell drugs. That's everybody knows that. It is what it is. So the way I do my comedy is like if I'm selling a product, right? Like my product is only as good as what I give you, right? So like I said, I was in prison and I used to read a lot, right? So a lot of lessons that I've learned is from books. And I read a great book and it's called How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, right? In this book, he tells you that people want to feel important. Fool. So let's say if I know your name, right? Let's say it's Manuel. Well, I don't know your name. I know you by tacos and workouts, right? But let's say your name was Louis.
Yeah.
And every time I see you at work, I'm like, hey, Louis, you're doing a great job today. You'll be like, damn, this motherfucker knows my name. But let's say I don't give a shit about you and I don't know your name. That looks bad, right? So I feel like the more you personalize with people, the more you accommodate, associate, the better the relationship is. So that's how I do my comedy. When I do comedies with shows, I tell them, hey, what's up? My name's Victor Young Bees. Boom, what's your name? Beatrice. Hey, Beatrice. So next time I have a comedy show, I send them a message. I follow up. Hey, Nancy, thank you for coming last show. Would you want to come this time? Nancy is not looking at it like, oh, it's a post. Everybody's looking at it. Nancy's like, damn, I feel personalized. Like, this is something cool. He went out of his way to tell me, you know, and I feel like that's what people want, you know? Like, my lady works for a big company, right? And every year, that big company, you know what they do? They send all their customers Christmas cards. Why? Because that's like telling them thank you. So the way I do my comedy is like, I'm telling you, thank you for coming. Thank you for spending those $10. You know, thank you for watching this podcast. You know,
Yeah.
you got to be grateful because you're only as good as the people who support you. Whether, like you said, it's 100, 1,000, or 10,000. You know, that's what I feel. You know, so I feel like just do it. Just be you.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to do it, man.
Yeah.
So your comedy, right? It's strictly based on your past experiences and stuff like
Yes.
that. And then sometimes people will try to heckle you when you're on stage. How do you do? How do you deal with that, man?
The way I look at it is like I don't get mad. Like I don't get like those. A lot of fools will be like, oh my god, long socks look like medias, and I'm like, in my book, how you know what medias are? Like are you wearing medias? Like I'll just turn it on them, because instead of getting mad, it's like always be funny about it. Like don't, because the way I look at it is like the minute that vato won or took that from you, he took that. He took that moment, and it's hard to get that momentum back. So I say just either pause or be like, okay, thank you. I'm good looking now. But don't let it get the best of you.
But you actually hear them. You actually hear them actually talking to you.
I'll acknowledge them.
You will.
I've had shows. I did one in Southgate where these hyenas are drunk as fuck, right? And they're like, oh my god, who you calling bitch? And I was like, I'm not calling nobody bitch. I'm referring to bitches. There's a lot of bitches out there. Bitches is crazy. Oh, okay, as long as it's not me. And I was like, clearly you feel like I singled you out. Like,
well, that's their fault. Their fault for self-identify themselves as that. So that's beyond your control, right?
Exactly, bro. So that's what I say. I'm like, hey, you know what? And then at the end of the show, I'll be like, give it up for the bitches in the left corner. You know what I mean? Who are you calling a bitch? At the end, I'll give them, hey, send them a beer. The fuck up.
Yeah, it's a show. It's a comedy show.
Yeah,
so you're there for entertainment, right?
Exactly. But fools will fight. I've been at fucking fundraisers where fool wants to fight me, and I'm like, dude, I'm not. This guy was so pissed because his hyena follows me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I did a fundraiser somewhere. I won't say where. But I'm like, the thing about me, I drink, fool. So I'm drinking. I'm fucking turned up, and we're taking shots and partying, and the girl's like this. And I'm just like, all right, cool, like whatever. Like, hey, you, like, thanks for coming, And the fool's pissed. He's like walking back and forth, and he's like, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this fool doing? So I'm drinking. I'm not paying attention to him. My hyena's like, babe, this motherfucker's stripping. And I was like, oh, who? Like, I'm not from this area. Like, I'm from a gang, but I'm not from here. What are you tripping on? So comes down. The next day, fool, the hyena messaged me. She's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. My man wanted to fight you. Like, really? Why? Well, because he follows you and you like my pictures. And I'm like, really? Like, who has that kind of time, dude? Like, he wants to fight. Go fight the war. Go to another country. Enlist in the army. Join a gang. I don't know. Fight me because your hyena follows me? Fuck.
Hey, you know what? It's funny that you bring that topic up, man, because you know what?
Right.
Because I know a lot of vatos that they want to get down with everybody, right? They want to get down. They're like walking around anywhere. They walk at the Starbucks. Hey, fool, what's up? What? I'm like, dude, you're Starbucks, homie. Or
slow
like,
it down, my boy.
They're at the Walmart or they're looking for reasons to fight, right? And I'm not thinking, motherfucker, you like fighting so much? Join a fucking gym, bro.
Yes, homie.
Like
MMA.
Yeah,
be a fucking MMA
go
fighter.
throw putazos and get paid for it, bro.
You can't go to You can't go to Black Friday because you come on with a fucking black eye and shit on. Sad,
But you know why they don't do that, right?
They're scared.
Yeah, because it's they're gonna get their ass kicked.
Exactly. People want to pick on somebody, because they're beer balls, or they're just like, oh, fucking take them. Like, come on. It really, it's like I'm 40. We're 40 something. We had no reason to be fighting like we're teenagers. Come on,
Yeah, for sure, man. The way I look at it is like, you know what? We've made it this far, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has had like different their life experiences, but we're in the same fork in the road now, right?
Exactly, on the same boat.
Yeah, now we're in the same path. Now, are you gonna do something that you're gonna go away for 30 years?
Yeah,
come out when you're 70,
and that's something that people don't realize. Back in the 90s and the 2000s, you could shoot somebody, you could stab somebody and get 10 years manslaughter, or beat a kid. Not you're fucking getting stretched out. I got arrested in 2019, COVID, right? Fuck, everybody was going to prison. 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, 200 years. It's like, who's gonna live 200 years, dog? Not only that, but it was that one hyena really worth 200 years.
Exactly.
Like, fight for your family, fool. Fight for your life. Fight for your kids. Fight for what you believe in. Don't fucking fight for some bullshit, right? Yeah. I mean, but if you feel that strong about it, go ahead. And there's gonna be a place right there with a sandwich and a fucking bed. You're gonna be kicking back right there. But I guarantee you're gonna regret it, because the hyena's gonna leave you. The hyena's gonna leave you. Your family's gonna forget you. You're gonna be left with nothing, though.
and that's kind of like what that kind of mentality will get
Yeah.
you there. And
Honestly, that's
some
the truth.
some people learn and some people don't, man.
In the end, I feel like everybody learns, or die learning. When you're fucking like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking die. You're like, fuck, I regret it.
And then they have that regret, and the last breath of their
So
life,
why
they
live in
regret.
regrets? And that's why I was telling you, like, that's how I'm living my life good now. Fool. Like, my goal is to, like, honestly, I'm done with my book already, so I'm gonna publish it, sell that motherfucker, and my goal is to not work. Fool. I don't want to work no more. I want to be a motivational speaker. Fool. I want to be a motivational speaker, work for myself. Because the thing about me is I was in jail for a lot of years. Fool. And I never got to go to parent conference. I never got to do shit for my kids. Fool. I'll admit it. I'm a piece of shit dad. Fool. Now I'm working on that. I'm being better. Fool. I'm working to have a connection with my kids, and I am. They're better. They follow me. We talk. We come on the weekends. It's cool, right? But my goal, honestly, everybody wants to get rich and take care of the world. I don't want that. You know what I want to do? I want to be financially stable so I can drop off my kids in school, pick them up from school so I can join the fucking PTA and sell fucking cookies, dude. Like, I want what nobody else wants. Where everybody's like, fuck, I got to go to a fucking field trip. I want to go to a field trip. Fool. I want to be the fucking study buddy. Everybody line up. Come on, guys. That's the best point of life. What's the point of you working, work, and you never spend time with your kids? You're putting, I always told my kids, I told my kid's 15 right now, right? And I told her, you know what? I'm sorry I was a bad father because I did provide for you and I put food on the table. But you know what? I was never at that table. We never ate as a family. Like, I set a bad example for you, so now I'm doing it better. I call them, I text them, hey, Mika, how you doing? I love you. Good luck. Like, whatever, like just little things, because I feel like that's what they want. You could buy Jordans for them, fool. She don't care. She just wants you. Like, that's something that I learned the hard way, And if you're out there, just think about that, What's more important?
Yeah,
family.
For sure, man. That's one thing I love about this podcast, man. Meeting interesting people like yourself, people that actually have something to say, and you
to share a message.
And you start to realize that sometimes you know somebody and you think you know them, and the more you talk to them, you realize like, I'm like, damn,
cool as fuck,
I'm like, me and Beaves have a lot in common. It's like he's talking right now, and I'm like, his life goals are similar to my life goals, man. Right. And I totally agree. Like, like right now, I'm already starting to think for retirement.
That's good.
And it's like,
because no guarantee you gonna make it to 67.
Exactly.
Fucking diabetes, die from eating a fucking taco.
You could get you could get COVID tomorrow in SAS. That's SAS. Or you could be walking down the street. You know what?
Run over, hitting right. Yeah, it's crazy. Fool.
The chupacabras come bite you in the ass and ya estuvo, Yeah. So that's the way life is. So definitely like prepare to
live for today.
Live for today. Provide for your family and whatnot.
Yeah,
but like my trip right now is like how we were talking earlier that you're a product of your environment, right?
I agree with that.
So we grew up in the same environment, right? I don't portray myself to be who I used to be.
That's good.
And people look at me like, oh, that fool's soft, and I'm like,
you're just evolving.
I'm like, I'm like, you don't know who I was, or whatever. But I'm glad I'm no longer like that, right?
That's good.
But if the product in my environment would have been like this, somebody would come up to me and tell me, look, you're 20 right now. You could retire by the time you're 40 and be a millionaire. I would have listened.
You would have?
Yeah, because I know the secrets to do that now. But you see, it's like just because I know how to do that now, I probably in it's gonna take me about 15 years to actually become a millionaire and actually retire.
That's good,
when I could have retired at 40.
Imagine.
But I didn't learn the secrets of success until later in life.
That's
so
good.
To me, I'm constantly trying to help people, whether it's trying to teach them how to do the podcast, right? Or tell them how to invest their money or something like that. Because
Latinos, we don't invest.
We don't
spend.
The quinceañera, the ranfla, the lowrider, right? The wedding, right?
You're taking that shit to heaven on me.
And you know what? It's like you spend $30,000 on a wedding, and then you're
she cheats on you.
She cheats on you.
With a fucking carnicero from el super. Fuck. Oh,
that's right, man.
That's all bad.
It's really bad, man. But that's how it is, man.
I agree with that, dog. I feel like we need to invest. We need to, people are like you said, investing in a low rate. Invest in yourself. Like you said, you're watching your health. You feel happy. It doesn't matter what nobody says. Everybody's fuck that food. At least now you're fucking. Maybe back then you were fucking. You know what I'm saying? Now you can fuck. You know, back in the days your panza. You know, now you feel more better.
Hey, you know what the Big Bang
Right?
Theory is?
The Big Bang Theory is when the planets. Well, there was a big explosion. It was 13.7 trillion years ago that it happened.
That's wrong, homie. It's when you see two really fat people and you ask yourself, how do they bang?
That's good. That's good. Dog. I thought you were gonna get smart on me. I was like, "What are they shouting?" Yeah, you got me. Though. You got me. That was good. I was like, hey, hold on, I know this one.
Yeah, I have a couple jokes written here and there.
Hold on.
I'm
That's
telling
good.
you, man.
Well, that's a quick question. That's good. Fool.
Yeah,
That's
man.
Good. I like that. I like that.
Look, man. I think that's gonna be it for today. I
yeah.
can't wait to actually work on the same stage
Yeah,
with
it's
you,
gonna
man.
happen, fool. And,
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm the kind of comedian I will put you on, fool. I've put on a lot of good comedians, fool. And when they first started, and even they're blowing up, dog. They're blowing up, and I always keep in contact with them. And I message them, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm proud of you, girl. I'm proud of you, my boy. Woo. Because I feel like that's what we need, encouragement. You know, most Latinos, they'll be like, oh, fuck that fool. Oh, he's dancing all day. Oh, he's saying jokes. Well, let's encourage ourselves. You know, let's end this by saying, hey, you know what? Instead of saying fuck that fool, say, hey, you know what? Hooray for that fool.
That's right.
That's firme that vatos doing
That's
that.
right.
Hey, you know what? Let's go eat tacos and then work out, right?
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. Thank you for having me on your podcast, Big Dog. I appreciate it.
You know what? But before we forget, man, you've had success. I housed the improv. What is it? The House of Blues,
I've done
right?
the House of Blues. I've done the Comedy Store, Brea Improv, Hollywood Improv, Irvine Improv. I've done mostly all the comedy shows.
So there's no denying who you are and what
Coming
you do,
up,
man.
like it or not.
And
Hey,
he's there.
Tina Turner, fool, his legs is rolling.
It shows who
Hell
he is
yeah.
and what he's doing. But you have, before we forget, you have an upcoming show pretty soon, right? Let's
I
not
have
forget about that.
I'm gonna do. I have actually 2 shows. I have one that I'm gonna be doing here in the city of Long Beach on December 20th. So all the homies in Long Beach, make sure you tune in. It's gonna be right here on 201 Pine Street, right here downtown Long Beach. It's gonna be December 20th. It's a Tuesday. It's gonna be a Taco Tuesday kind of event. It's gonna be a great lineup. I'll post that flyer and I'll shoot you the info so you can tag it on the thing. And then January 7th, I'm doing my comedy special, right? Because I do a lot of collaborations with people, but on January 7th, I'm having my special. It's gonna be recorded. I'm gonna be in the city of LA. It's gonna be it's a nice venue. We're gonna have VIP section, bottle service, the whole shebang. It's gonna be me and Francis Clay. He's a really funny comedian. He's been on Comedy Central, like HBO, fucking Backyard Boogies, all that, right? But like I say, same thing. I'll shoot you the link and put it up there, and just let's just support each other. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Young Beaves comedy.
All right, man. Thanks for that.
That's it.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys later.
Thank you.